Got that audio limping.
That's about right, because we're on cell phones today. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy. I'm Van.
And I'm Jeezy.
Jeezy, you back in Wisconsin?
I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I was also back in Wisconsin, and we missed each other by about a day.
But I got to watch the football game at a Packers bar, and Medium Bro Jeezy won a Packers floor mat as a raffle door prize at the bar.
Wow. That means he can walk all over us like most other teams do, too.
Oh, but aren't we 13-3 though?
It's not even close. We are the worst 13-3 team to ever exist. But speaking of that, we'll dive into the scores for the week. We are 13-3 after we beat the Lions in a really shitty way, 23-20.
A nail biter.
Yeah, a nail biter for no reason. We've got the Jets over the Bills, 13-6.
I still thought second string Bills should have beat the Jets, but guess not.
Still a one-score game.
Yeah, it's competitive.
I got the Saints 42 over the Panthers 10.
Ass whooping.
Not even close either. It's real bad. The Saints have 11 games this year with 30-plus points scored, which is the most in the NFL.
They look fearsome heading into the playoffs. Fortunately, they do not get a break. They have to keep playing.
And we will get into that in a minute here. Probably my favorite score from the weekend, the Dolphins 27 over the Patriots 24.
I do not know how that happened. I saw that replay about 100 times, though, throughout the day of Tom Brady throwing that pick six to the Dolphins. I just feel like everybody in the league was celebrating that interception for some reason.
You know why the Dolphins won is all it needed was a little bit of Fitzmagic.
In 2019, couldn't we all use a little bit of Fitzmagic?
I don't understand him. He likes to play really well sometimes and really shitty sometimes. I don't get it. But anyways, I love that because the Patriots knocked themselves out of the second seed. So now they're playing on wild card weekend for the first time since 2009.
Wow.
Which is incredible in itself.
Crazy.
We've got the Bengals 33 over the Browns 23.
That's right. Bengals sneak out that second win of the season.
Tying for their worst record in franchise history.
See, better than setting a new one.
Yes, that is true. We've got the Bears 21 over the Vikings 19 in basically a useless, meaningless game.
I mean, the Vikings announced long ago that they were playing nobody, so yeah, they didn't play starting anybody.
No. Chiefs 31, Chargers 21, with the Chiefs clinching a first-round bye, number 2 seed.
Yeah, and they looked good doing it.
Falcons 28, Buccaneers 22.
They stamped their ticket. I saw the Cowboys win just a little before Eagles, and Eagles did what they had to do, stamp that ticket.
I just said Falcons, Buccaneers. The Falcons didn't stamp shit other than a seat on their couch.
Oh, you said, oh.
Wrong bird.
Wrong bird. Sorry, Falcons. You're an excellent bird of prey, but not a very good football team.
Well, speaking of not very good things, Jameis Winston becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to achieve a 30-30. 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in one season.
And that's no relation to the 30 for 30 on ESPN.
I mean, they might do a 30 for 30 on his 30-30.
Wouldn't that be so contrived?
Also, first Buccaneers quarterback to throw for over 5,000 yards in a single season.
I'm not sure if I were a person in charge down there in Tampa Bay if I would stick with Winston. I think he's got to go.
I don't know.
But I've only felt that way for about almost his entire career.
He was a Heisman winner, too.
I just feel like Jameis Winston, despite an incredible physical ability, is just not getting smarter at the game of football.
No.
He doesn't seem very easily coachable, which to me sounds like second string for show.
Anyways, Cowboys 47, Redskins 16.
Ass whooping.
An ass whooping that meant nothing.
Yep.
Whip people's asses all the way to their couches.
I saw somebody referring to the Dallas logo yesterday as a 1-star rating for the team.
No, there's so many good memes coming out today. Like, can't go one and done in the playoffs if you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, at least in the Romo era, they could go one and done over and over.
Ravens 28, Steelers 10.
They put that hurting on them.
14 wins is the most in franchise history for the Ravens.
I don't think they even really started everybody there in Baltimore. They just put it on them anyway.
That's just how good that team is.
They got a lot of talent.
Got the Titans 35 over the Texans 14 to clinch a playoff berth.
I knew those Titans were thirsty. They went out and they did the damn thing.
Jaguars 38, Colts 20. Fun fact, Jaguars are undefeated at home in Week 17 games, 7-0 all time.
Wow. They've only got 7 home games in franchise history.
Yeah, they were an expansion team in like 98 or something like that, 2000 maybe.
I guess that's fair to every other year to have a home game, something like that, approximately.
Something like that. Rams 31, Cardinals 24 in another meaningless game.
It meant something to them, Van.
I'm sure it did.
Not to the rest of us.
No, not even a little bit. Now what you were trying to talk about earlier, Eagles 34, Giants 17.
But the hurting on the G-men. The G-men are a team that come out there and fucks with you, but they couldn't do it this week, and the Eagles stamped that ticket. They're going to the playoffs.
Yep, where they will also go one and done, but whatever.
I mean, the NFC is fudging stacked. And this is not to say that the AFC playoffs don't look stacked.
I mean, there are 3 13-3 teams, an 11-5 team, a 10-6, whereas the AFC has a 14-2, 12-4, 12-4, couple 9-7s.
The Vikings and the Eagles basically are the 2 teams that are like, all right, fine. But then you got the Seahawks, the Saints, the 49ers, and the Packers. It's looking deep, real deep. And then over there in the AFC, they got the Bills, Texans, Titans, Patriots, Chiefs, and Ravens, with the Ravens just being the juggernaut there. The other teams, I really feel like it could go any which way over there. I hate to say this, but the Patriots are the team in that side of the league that in some ways remind me of what the Packers are doing. Had a good record throughout the season, but seemingly just winning in different opportunistic ways versus really having a lot of whole game sound football wins. So yeah. I don't know.
2 more games here. Broncos 16 over the Raiders 15.
There you go. The Black Hole gets their final win before heading off to Las Vegas.
No, they lost.
Like the Black Hole gives one last loss before heading off to Las Vegas.
You're not listening to me today.
I'm trying to listen, but it's hard. I've only been awake for 15 minutes. And
the game that I watched most of last night, disappointment to all Packers fans, 49ers over the Seahawks 26-21. Had the Seahawks pulled it out, the Packers would have ended up with the number 1 seed, but they didn't.
Yep.
The Seahawks lost by like 2 inches.
Beats like that. It's a tough loss for them. It would have been awesome to see all the NFC go through Green Bay, but we've got a guaranteed game through Green Bay, and if the 49ers get upset in the divisional round and we can pull it out, we'll get that second game in Lambeau. So it's not completely ruled out anyway.
Like I said, it came down to 2 inches. The last play of the game, Russell Wilson throws a pass to someone, I don't remember. He was about to go in the end zone, got stuffed, and couldn't twist his body in, and it just bees like that. But I will say one thing watching those 2 teams play. First off, I never really noticed how Russell Wilson just doesn't pass in the pocket. All he does is scramble.
Yeah. I mean, there was a long while when Aaron Rodgers did the same thing.
Yeah.
When you don't have that O-line and you don't have receivers that you trust, I feel like that's what happens.
I was just watching those 2 teams, and they just look so fast. And I watch, I look at the Packers, and we are not fast. I don't know. I don't get it. But something that kind of shook the NFL world for a minute here, speaking of the Seahawks bring back Marshawn Lynch before that game. Bring him out of retirement.
Beast mode.
He got paid $60,588 for that game because the league minimum for any player with over 10 years of experience is just over $1 million. So prorated to 1 game, $60,588.
Wow.
He ended up finishing the game 12 carries, 34 yards, and a touchdown. So it didn't look stellar, but he had 1 run that was like straight up beast mode, and I was like, okay, yep.
From what I understand, that Seattle's a little banged up at running back, and they just need some bodies.
Yeah, and that's why they brought him back. They have some dude named Travis Homer, who the fuck is that, who had 10 carries, 62 yards. And so, I mean, he got a huge standing ovation on his first run. It was pretty neat. Good, good for him.
He's been in the league a long time, and he's a big name out there. Hopefully it'll be worth his time.
All those games to be said, you absolutely smoked me this week. And so now the scores for the year, Primetime picks. Cheezy 65-27-1. Van 59-33-1. I got destroyed this week.
I happen to know every single win that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that they were the absolutely true pick at the end of last week.
And you know what? You're right. You're right.
Well, don't be sad, man.
I'm just a little bit sad because the regular season is over. Now we have wild card weekend. The AFC is going to play on Saturday. NFC will play on Sunday. AFC matchups, we're looking at Tennessee playing at New England, Buffalo playing at Houston. On the NFC side, we're looking at Vikings playing at New Orleans, looking at the Seahawks playing at Philadelphia.
That's just a shame that the Seahawks are playing at Philly.
The teams that have a bye week are the 49ers with the number 1 seed in the NFC, Packers number 2 seed on the NFC side. AFC side, we've got Baltimore number 1 seed, Kansas City number 2 seed. So that's what it is. End of the episode, we'll have those picks. Last thing I want to touch on for the news this week, it is Black Monday. It is NFL Firing Monday. And we're recording this about 10:30 a.m. Eastern, so 9:30 a.m. Central. So as of right now, yesterday, Freddie Kitchens gets fired from the Browns.
Dunzo.
One and done for Freddie Kitchens, which seems to be the Browns' MO. They just like to have coaches for a year. They don't go to the Super Bowl, so they get fired.
Yep. Isn't that good strategy? Isn't that good GMing?
That's how you end up like the Browns. Pat Shurmur also fired by the Giants about an hour ago after compiling a 9-23 record over 2 seasons.
Wow.
Not good. Riverboat Ron Rivera expected to be named the new Redskins head coach, coming over from the Panthers.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It seems that the Redskins can take any decent coach and make him into a bad coach.
Just like the Browns do.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns have requested permission to interview Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, with the Panthers also expected to seek permission to interview him. Panthers are also requesting permission to interview Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. So that's all CBS Sports has right now for what they call the NFL coaching carousel.
Hop on that baby and ride.
I just imagine it's like an actual children's carousel with just helmets instead of horses and just.
Sorry, all y'all. Well, hopefully you get some jobs. But anyway, and now I'm cheesing my way back to you, Van, with a burning cheese inside. It's the Packers section.
As we mentioned, Packers had a real ugly win over the Lions, 23-20, on a walk-off field goal from Mason the Silver Fox Crosby.
Ooh. He is looking very silver these days.
He's dreamy. I don't care what anybody says. He's dreamy. So before this game, Aaron Jones arriving at Ford Field in Detroit wearing a shirt that says, "The lights are too bright, get off the field," which comes from last week's game over the Vikings when Aaron Jones had just a terrible start to the game. He fumbled the football, giving the Vikings just awesome field position on the first possession. Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr comes over to Aaron Jones and says, "Hey man, the lights are too bright for you. Get off the field." So obviously Aaron Jones then goes on to have a career high 156 yards rushing in that game. And then shoves that smack talk in Barr's face, again wearing a T-shirt showing up to the game saying, "The lights are too bright, get off the field." This game he goes and runs for 100 yards on 25 carries.
Looking good. Jones looking good. Although he had that kind of scary where he went down, it almost looked like his muscle came loose.
It looked nasty. I was a little worried.
But apparently he just bounced back. These young guys just bounced back.
Also unrelated to this current game, Aaron Rodgers got his contract restructured, converting $14.26 million of his $19.5 million 2020 roster bonus into a signing bonus, allowing them to prorate that money over 5 years, creating $11.4 million of cap room for next year. Good. It's helpful.
That is good. Stuff like this, though, makes like the whole salary cap stuff nearly incomprehensible to me. There are like so many little contractual loopholes that I can never really understand exactly how much money we have to get new people.
But you don't want to end up like Major League Baseball where you can get teams just buying championships like the Yankees did for so many years just because they're a big market team.
I agree with all the rules they have in place to do some level setting, but I just feel like all of these contractual loopholes make me feel like I have no idea. Are we at the cap? Are we not? Do we have a way to get more money by making up a new rule or adjustment to a contract, or do we not?
Every year the salary cap increases by a certain amount, so
the number of turds paid to a player for his performance.
Aaron Rodgers is currently making 19.5 million turds per year.
Good.
I always like to point out the high-quality, high-bar humor we have over here at the Cheezy Podcast, talking about turds.
Mm-hmm. You got to have turds in your life. Look, everybody poops. I think there's a children's book called that.
Actually, my nephew got a book for Christmas about everybody poops. I don't think it was the exact book, but it was a little flip book. You can pop up the little, like, tabs, you know? And it actually had Dookie going through the septic system. Like, it showed Dookie going through the sewer. It had, like, animals duking. It had all kinds of stuff.
Jeez. Well, I mean, it's important for a 3-year-old to understand, you know, how the poop flows.
So, slightly back on track here. Well, I guess, you know, we played like turds, too, in this game. Before the game started, John Blondie texted me and said something along the lines of, like, LOL at Aaron Rodgers' dyed beard. not a speck of gray in it this week.
He got that just for men treatment.
See, what's about to happen here is he's about to get that Rogaine contract from Brett Favre. I forget which it was, just for men or Rogaine. Brett Favre was doing commercials for them. Now it's about to be Aaron Rodgers.
I need to get some fucking Rogaine.
You? Have you seen my beard recently? It's white everywhere.
Yeah, but at least you have the hair. Just for men is the coloring. Rogaine is the need more hair. Somebody referred to the balding, thinning hair on top as the Jeezy-Do since I've been in town, and I was like, oh, man. It's true. They got me. It's true.
You've reached full dad status.
I'm full dad status.
Aaron Jones passes 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. Good for him.
He looked good. I thought he looked very good.
First Packers running back to do that since Eddie Lacy in 2014.
Oh, man.
If I had to summarize the Packers offense, other than in a single word, you know, shit, I would say that what was really concerning to me was the play of Aaron Rodgers and our receivers. I will say this is the first time in my life that I will go out and say that Aaron Rodgers put us in a position to lose that game single-handedly.
He looked rough. Wasn't careful enough with the ball.
Everything was just
overthrowing everybody.
Yeah. The one ball he underthrows got picked off.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. You know what particularly made me worried is the little wheel route out of the backfield, and he's overthrowing those.
I know, because that play was open, and we ran it at least 5-6 times, and it got overthrown at least 4 of the times, and that play was open all day. Those are plays that you dump that off to Aaron Jones, and he takes it for 20 yards, no problem. That play was open all day, and Rodgers overthrew it at least 4 times.
I mean, we switched to the dink and dunk. Middlebrough Jeezy referred to it as the Patriots' offensive plays in the second half, and it was working, but still, even those shorter plays, he didn't look as sharp as he needed to be.
No, it was bad.
Yeah.
We looked very sloppy. And then just a couple more concerns I have, like with 3 receivers in particular. I've been shitting on him for the past 2 years, but Jimmy Graham, this is the second week in a row that the first play offensively was poised for like a huge gain. Just kidding. Jimmy Graham hits him right in the fucking hands. Drop.
I mean, it's funny now that we won, but it was really bad.
So mad. Made me so fucking mad. That was at least like a 30-yard catch. Should have been. Catch and run, you know?
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if Rodgers overthrowing is intentionally, like, he knows his receivers are bad, so he's just, like, trying to make sure he's not getting intercepted.
One play in particular, which I forget who was calling the game, the announcer said that it looked like Rodgers threw the ball like way wide of the receiver on purpose, almost like he threw the ball like, hey man, this is where I expected you to be and you weren't there. This is where you should have been. They were also making light of, too, that a lot of our offense is predicated on timing. And when the timing's just slightly off, the whole offense goes to shit. And that's what a lot of it was. A lot of timing was off, and a lot of Rodgers was just missing a lot of things. And what he had said in his post-game conference was that he said he felt like the ball came off his hand pretty good the whole game, but it just didn't fly that way, I guess. I don't know. It looked bad. So Jimmy Graham, I don't see us bringing him back next year. He's been a giant fucking turd for us over 3 years. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is playing himself directly to the bench. A couple more big drops.
He's not looked great. He certainly hasn't looked great. For somebody who I thought, we had pretty high expectations, I've got to say that Geronimo Allison looked a little better than him this game.
The fuck he did. He caught a pass for like 10 yards, and he got stood up and fucking fumbled again. And luckily, the ball went out of bounds, but it seems to me anytime he gets a couple yards, catch gets a couple yards downfield, he gets hit, he's dropping the fucking ball every time. The dude just makes me so infuriated, and I completely disagree with you. That dude has been nothing but a liability the entire year.
But if you watch that replay, like, he's protecting the ball, and this dude throws a perfect jab into it.
Don't care. He's a liability at this point.
All right, fine.
It makes me so fucking mad.
But I got to say, as you move into the second half, what was really a lackluster showing turns into first off, the defense started looking really good in the second half. We get Preston Smith back there interrupting plays. Darius Smith looking super good again, especially in the second half, getting a lot of pressure. And not to understate this, but so we played much better in the second half on both sides of the ball, but the defense really stepped up a lot. They really did.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you. Absolutely. The defense definitely stiffened up. And, again, I can't remember who was calling the game, but he said it's an absolute joke that Darius Smith is not on the Pro Bowl this year.
It's ridiculous. He's had such a good year. Statistically, he's had such a good year just by the amount of impact he's made to the games. It's just incredible. He's looking good.
I found this stat earlier this week before the game. There have been 3 players in NFL history who have recorded at least 13 sacks, 35 quarterback hits, and 17 tackles for loss in a single season. J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, and Zadarius Smith.
That's good company to be in. Those are some future Hall of Famers.
Yeah, yep. Huge late interception under 2 minutes by Blake Martinez. He gets this pick, and I see him running it back. I'm like, holy fuck, you're slow.
Well, he kind of gallops out of bounds really quick. I think he's just not comfortable enough with handling the ball to want to try and be super athletic and make a bigger play than that. But it was a huge impact play.
He gets that ball and starts running it back, carrying it like a fucking loaf of bread. And I was like, oh no. Crosby misses his second field goal of the year, which is disappointing.
It was a long one.
It was 51, but then you look at the other side of the ball, and Matt Prater fucking drills one from 56. Looked like he could have hit it from 75.
He did blast that one. But, I mean, still, that was not an easy thing. And Matt Prater was looking way out of date with his tribal tattoos, like the tattoos on his arms.
I noticed that, too.
Like, okay, bro. Happy Y2K.
You got those frosted tips and those puka shells, too, bro. Tyler Irvin, return man. I still love that dude. He really stepped up. He had a 10-yard run and like a 10-yard catch too.
Jamal Williams out. He was playing out of backfield this week, and he was doing his thing. He was doing fine. It was good to see that he could step into that role.
I was happy with it. Devontae Adams almost 100 yards, got a touchdown. Alan Lazard looking real good again. 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. I think Adams and Lazard are two mainstays of the offense right now. In terms of the passing game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sounds like Lazard is working really hard each week in practice and studying the playbook, and it shows that he's really become a big, important player in our offense, and he's become one of the bigger targets for Rodgers.
And I think Rodgers trusts him, which obviously is very important. I'm all about that. I love it. On that last scoring drive, we got a damn present on that roughing the passer call.
So in full speed, it was hard to call it a roughing the passer, but when you look at it in slow motion, it definitely was roughing the passer.
I don't know. I thought when you look at it in slow motion, it's almost like it wasn't helmet to helmet. It was like shoulder to upper shoulder pad. But at the same time, too, Rodgers has initiated his slide at that point.
That's exactly it. These players need to be trying to jump over him, but they still continue the motion of tackling. And they weren't in the motion of tackling before he was in the motion of sliding. So that's why I say in full speed, it's hard to see it. But when you play it in slow motion, Rodgers has initiated the slide, and neither player have started tackling. To me, in slow motion, it seems clear. Now, in full speed, I thought, ooh, this looks a little shaky, but I'll take it. But in the replay, I thought it was clear.
I'll take it. Definitely does not help our case when people say that we get a lot of lucky calls.
But we're going back to Lambeau where we get the most favorable calls of all time. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm stoked about it, having a game at Lambeau, because, you know, the last time we had a playoff bye was 2014. And that was when we lost to the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game because fucking Brandon Bostic wouldn't just let Jordy Nelson have the ball on that onside kick. So mad about that. I'm a little hesitant that we got a week off because I feel like we always play like shit coming off of a week off.
I like our odds coming off of a week of rest. If we go straight back, you know, there's no telling if we get Jamal Williams back. I think with the bye, we'll have him back and better. And I think teams are now playing without reservation, without leaving anything in the tank. They're putting it all in the field. And I like our odds coming into a very, very, very stacked NFC, because there is not a single team as I look at across the NFC playoff picture that I say, oh yeah, we can beat them easily. Like the Vikings are the worst team the Eagles, but they'll be gone. But the Vikings are the worst team that I think have a chance to progress, and they're a tough team. The Saints are really tough. The Seahawks are really tough. I don't feel like I'd be happier seeing us playing against one of those other teams. Stamp that ticket to the couch for the first week. I feel good about that.
I'll take it.
Ooh, it's time for the gossip section. I feel like every time I sing this, it comes out different.
Every time I do like the haha, it comes out different now too. So one reason why Aaron Rodgers may have been playing poorly this past game.
Come on, you think this is related?
He and Danica Patrick bought a mansion in Malibu for $28 million.
That's good if you can get it. I mean, Malibu, one of the most pricey and desirable areas to live.
We are going back to the TMZ well, where we haven't been for a while.
I heard that they had been renting this mansion first, so they had tried it out. Yep, the previous owners had it available for rental, and Danica and Aaron had taken a bit of a reprieve there.
I didn't know you could do rent-to-own on a mansion.
No, it wasn't rent-to-own. I think they had just been renting it. The people who had the house before them made a cool $8 million on the sale.
The guy's name was Robbie Williams. I'm sure he's someone famous that I don't know. Previously, house was owned by Netflix content chief Ted Sarandos and had previously been leased before by Janet Jackson.
Wow.
4,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2-bedroom guest house, and a swimming pool.
Gotta have that out in Malibu. But I mean, 4 toilets, that's living a good life. You can poop all over the house.
You know what? I got 3 toilets.
What?
2 upstairs, 1 downstairs. The nice thing about the downstairs toilet is if I'm watching TV or something, I just got to go 7 feet.
That's clutch. That's critical.
You know where that toilet is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of it. But moving on from that, someone else who has a new home, the soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders, their stadium, which will seat 65,000 people in Las Vegas, costing a reported $2 billion, billion with a B, called Allegiant Stadium, is currently being built, and it looks like the Death Star.
So it looks like a big black circular bowl, and my favorite comparison that I've seen is someone says it looks like a Roomba, and I think that is spot on. Like a black Roomba.
It does.
It looks like a giant Roomba that's going to go and clean up all of Las Vegas.
This is funny, too. This guy says, gee, thanks, man. We don't have to play on a baseball field with toilets that back up anymore.
Yeah, they had that crappy multi-purpose field before, and now they're headed off to the big Roomba in Las Vegas.
The big Roomba in Vegas. This is a good one, too. Someone said it looks like Mark Davis's haircut.
Oh.
So funny.
It's 100% black. From the outside, it just looks like a big, shiny, black Roomba. And somebody posts, the surface of that thing is going to melt skin in the Nevada sun.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be very, very hot. It's supposed to be air-conditioned, fortunately, but it looks like you should not touch the outside of the stadium.
I'm a little sad that teams are moving away from outdoor fields.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but there's some locations like Nevada and a few others that I can understand why you don't want the elements in play. I can't imagine it would be very easy to keep a grass field alive.
No, that too, yeah.
You don't see a bunch of pasture land in Las Vegas.
We'll see what happens to that. Antonio Brown worked out with the New Orleans Saints on Friday.
Spoiler alert, he's still not working.
Here's the thing, is they said, hey, Antonio, just show up, don't do anything crazy, just don't miss the production, just show up. And so he shows up with a camera crew and an entourage.
Had to, obvious.
In the most Antonio Brown way possible.
My understanding was that they brought in a total of 5 players to work out. Obviously, Antonio brings a whole entourage with him, but there were other players also working out for the Saints.
Is he even allowed to play right now? Like, I thought he's suspended. I think he's currently suspended, right?
It's unclear, I think.
Here, this CBS Sports article says, the NFL has made it clear that any club willing to sign Antonio Brown will do so knowing full well he'll likely be placed on the commissioner's exempt list due to the league's pending investigation to his sexual assault allegations, along with the other ridiculous shit he's going through. So,
yeah, I don't see AB back this season. You know, hopefully some of the allegations and everything will be cleared up over the summer, but I don't think anybody's going to try and pick him up.
I just can't see him meshing with a good guy like Drew Brees, you know?
Yeah, I guess I get that. I mean, he was with Ben Roethlisberger for so long. That seemed like a pretty good fit, and now options are few and limited.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that, too. So we're headed on to the primetime picks. Van already outlined these games, but on Saturday, we have the AFC wildcard round. First, we've got the Bills headed to Texas to face the Texans. Who you got?
Bills. The Bills are a feel-good story for me, man. They've been so mediocre for so long. I like the Bills just from like an underdog standpoint. Go Bills.
They are definitely the underdog, but I feel like the Texans are going to win at home. I just think that's how it goes. A little later in the day, Saturday 7:15, the Titans are headed to Foxborough to face the Patriots. Now here is where I think an underdog team is going to win. Give me them Titans. I know that the Patriots are super tough at home, especially in prime time, but I just think the Titans are the better team. I really do. They're not a great team, but I think they're better than the Patriots.
Much as it kills me to say it, I got to take the Patriots.
You might be right, but I just think the Titans are the better team here.
I don't know, man. I mean, Brady's looked like shit all year, basically, but I still think that playoff Brady in New England is probably a little different than shitty Brady right now.
They just lost to the Dolphins. I don't have any faith. But anyway, moving on to Sunday, back in our own conference, we've got the Vikings heading to New Orleans to face the Saints. Who you got?
I can't see anybody stopping the Saints right now on the NFC side.
I have to agree. The Saints look untouchable. They are so good. And as far as I know, their main all-stars are all healthy. It's all systems go for them.
The teams have buys. This week they're spending their time prepping for any possible team, right? Like they have to spend their time prepping for potentially playing anybody. But I have to imagine that we are prepping ourselves to play the Saints. Can't see anybody beating the Saints right now.
Yeah, me neither. Saints all day. And then Sunday afternoon, we have the Seahawks headed to Philly to play against them Eagles. Give me the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a tough team. They can beat anybody. They're not the best team, but they are a team that plays well under duress, under stress, in big situations, in big moments. They thrive in it. And I have to think they're going to go to Philly, face that adversity, and get the W.
I have to agree. Not to say that the Seahawks don't have their problems.
No, they do. I mean, they're not a complete team. In the wild card round, we're seeing 3 incomplete teams. The Saints look good all the way, but 3 incomplete teams. And when it comes down to it, the Seahawks do not shy away from their troubles. They go straight on, and they play some of their best football when the stakes are high.
Playoff football is different, so who knows?
Anyway, we're in complete agreement in the NFC for those wins, but complete mismatch on the AFC, so we'll see what happens over there. As always, you've been listening to Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy.
I am Van.
And I'm Jeezy.
Check us out anywhere and everywhere. We're basically everywhere.
We're on the internet. We're on your streaming services, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on our website. We're on YouTube. We're on the phone.
Ooh, we are on the phone. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that.
980-2-CHEEZY. That's 980-224-99. 244-99.
No. 224-3399.
That's right. I almost had it. I just know it's 980.
You're the one that set it up.
I only remember the word. Even when I called it in today, when I called the cheese line, I had to go, okay, 9802, and I was like, H-E-E-Z-Y. Got it.
That's funny. That tickles me.
So, yeah, it's true.
We'll catch you next time.
Okie doke.